Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and thank you for joining me at the end of 2022. Everybody, it's been a crazy year here on the channel and in the Division community. A lot of things that we thought would happen did, there was also a fair amount that didn't, and there were some surprises along the way. One thing that did not waver, however, is my anticipation for the Division Heartland. I am still ridiculously excited for this upcoming Division spin-off game that is in the works by Red Storm Entertainment. And while it may seem like we didn't learn a whole lot about the game this year, there were some key details and information dropped throughout the year that I think does amount to a much better understanding of the game and the progress being made on it, hence why I felt compelled to make this 2022 recap. Along the way, I'm going to do my best to dispel some rumors that still circulate about the game today, and obviously alongside the recap and some short predictions at the end, it should all give you a pretty clear outlook for Heartland in 2023. And in case anybody is questioning the need for this kind of a recap to be made, just know that I still regularly get questions about if Heartland is a Division 2 DLC or game mode, so clearly there is work to be done to solidify people's understanding about this upcoming game, so without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting off with the basics, The Division Heartland is an upcoming Tom Clancy's The Division spin-off title that is being developed by Red Storm Entertainment. It is not related in any way to The Division 2. It's not a DLC, a connected experience, anything like that. It is a completely new standalone game, and it is going to be free to play when it releases on consoles and PC. That's another big misconception I hear, is that Heartland is a mobile game. It is not. It is a free-to-play AAA experience within the Division franchise. All of that stuff was communicated back when the game was first announced in May of 2021, but again, just because I hear people's confusion about it so often, I thought I would clarify. Shifting to 2022, however, what did we learn about Heartland this year? Expectations were certainly high heading into this year. I mean, I think most of us were expecting it would have been released by now, so despite some disappointment there among many, I'm sure, we still did learn quite a bit. The first official news we got on the game didn't come until about midway through the year. Now, some may recall there were little spurts of quote-unquote info that we got in the first half of the year. Those included things like when the game was first accidentally posted to the Ubisoft Store website back in March. And while that was official in the sense of it being on Ubisoft's site itself, I don't count that as an official news drop, because it wasn't. It wasn't something they planned, something they intended to release, and so I want to give the same disclaimer that I have for a long time now about that info and any other rumors or information you may have heard about Heartland. Take it with a grain of salt. Between leaked NDA footage to that website listing to rumors here, whispers there, Heartland has had more than its fair share of speculatory information released on it since its announcement nearly 19 months ago. And as I always say, 100% of that stuff could turn out to be true when the game launches, or none of it could. Game development is very iterative, things change over time. Maybe that stuff all ends up coming true, or it could have just been ideas that were being floated at the time. My overall point is, the stuff I'm about to cover is what's actually confirmed about the game. Everything else you may hear or see, I'll let you be the judges of. The first official Heartland news drop we got in 2022 was back on July 5th. In a larger Division Universe update article that Ubisoft posted, this is what was said about Heartland. In addition to the updates for the Division 2, the team at Red Storm Entertainment is also working hard on a new experience set within the Division universe, Tom Clancy's The Division Heartland. Throughout the development, the team has been holding closed testing and will continue this testing to help evolve the game experience. If you want to be a part of these tests, make sure you register through our website. We cannot wait to share more information with you at a later date. Now, obviously, we did get more information on that at a later date that we'll go over shortly, but I think one point of significance here is that silence isn't always bad news. A lot of people are frustrated and disheartened by Heartland's lack of communication or information, and I totally understand that. But as they say here, and in that article they mark that a closed test took place at the end of June, and I'm sure there's been many others, they underscore that they will continue holding these closed tests to help evolve the game experience. And as I highlighted in my previous Heartland video, which I'll link in the top corner if you want to go and check it out, although the wait sucks, I would much rather Red Storm delay it 10 times over if it means the game launches in a high quality state and with a wealth of content and features. From the outside, it can be hard to understand or follow along with the necessity of these secretive tests, but as I said earlier, 19 months after its announcement, who knows how far Heartland has come since then. And these tests that they confirmed to have been taking place are undoubtedly helping improve it as much as possible. So that was the first official update of the year, and as I said, that was back in July. Moving on, we then come to September, which by far brought us the largest news dump for Heartland ever since its announcement back in 2021. At Ubisoft Forward, which is Ubisoft's company-wide news presentation they'll do once or twice a year, they had a segment on the entire Division universe, which included a long-awaited official reveal of the game. It had been announced, we knew it was coming, but until that point, there had been zero actual officially released game details or gameplay. And that changed at Ubisoft Forward. We got this developer intro trailer, as they called it, which I will run in the background, and while I'm about to go over the highlights from it and the major details that were unveiled, it won't be absolutely everything. And if you're interested in seeing me go through and break down every single detail and analyze every little frame of gameplay for clues, I will leave a link for the video I did doing exactly that in the description below, and I'll pin it at the top of the screen right now. It's long, we get into the nitty gritty, so if you want that sort of breakdown for Heartland, then I highly recommend that video. But as an overview, what did this Ubisoft Forward reveal tell us about Heartland? Not the release date, haha, gotcha. No, but we did learn quite a few points. The game is going to be set in Silver Creek, and unlike The Division 1 and 2, which take place in meticulously recreated real-life cities, Silver Creek is a fictional town in the heartland of America, and our goal here is going to be uncovering ever-evolving mysteries in this town that's in the middle of a crisis. Also, unlike The Division 1 and 2, Heartland is not being branded as a looter-shooter. It's still certain to have some RPG elements to it, but at its core, Red Storm is labeling Heartland as a survival action shooter. The game has both PvE and PvP elements and content, and of course is canon within the game and the same world and timeline as The Division 1 and 2. There's going to be new characters, storylines, and new gameplay elements like melee weapons, as you can see in the trailer. Obviously, that still leaves a lot unsaid. There's much more for us to still learn about Heartland before it launches, but that's still a lot more than we knew about the game beforehand. And it's all confirmed information, unlike a lot of that other stuff that I was mentioning previously. And again, that reveal trailer did drop some more juicy details in the fine print, if you will, so check that other video for the full breakdown. I just want to keep this recap video to the macro stuff, the big game details that you need to know. During that Ubisoft Forward presentation and in the weeks thereafter, a lot of reminders and marketing was pumped into encouraging players to sign up for Heartland testing on its website, further underscoring that testing update that we got in July, and presumably a test occurred at some point after Ubisoft Forward. Since then, which again, Ubisoft Forward is back in September, it's been quiet. There have been no further updates on The Division Heartland from Ubisoft. The only other piece of notable news that dropped, which wasn't from Ubi, but I think is, in a far different category than a leak or a rumor, was that the game began to receive official ratings in major countries around the world before receiving its ESRB rating in the US back in November. Now, the reason this is notable is because these ratings are usually only given to games once they're nearing completion, because the raters are of course rating a representation of the final product. It doesn't mean the game is set to imminently release, and yeah, it's now been a month or so since that rating was given and we've heard nothing, but it does signify movement behind the scenes. And the last thing to touch on here is that concurrently with the game's reveal at Ubisoft Forward, it was stated in a Ubisoft recap article that Heartland is slated for a 2022-23 release. Now, of course, we're at the end of 2022. It's clearly not coming in the next 2 days here, but along with stuff like the ratings the game has received, all point towards the fact that it is nearing completion. The last we heard publicly, Heartland is still slated for a fiscal 2022 release by Ubisoft, which would mean it would need to launch by the end of March of 2023 to hit that window, so 3 months from now. Of course, that could have changed behind the scenes. We typically hear about it at investors' calls, though, and we have not thus far, so we'll see. Shifting to that kind of outlook portion of the video that I mentioned at the start, it's clear that The Division Heartland is making good progress. A lot of it is happening behind the scenes where we aren't able to follow along as closely as we might like, but given this is The Division's first foray into the free-to-play market, I wouldn't necessarily expect the traditional kind of marketing campaign that The Division 1 and 2 had. Obviously, we had some details released at Ubisoft Forward and that was nice, but I don't think Red Storm feels necessarily obligated to reveal a bunch more about the game before releasing it. I'm sure there'll be some build-up, but not the 1 year build-up that Division 2 had once its date was announced. All of that is to say, I think we will get another update on Heartland not too long into the new year. Sometime before the end of February is my guess. Now, whether that's to confirm a fiscal 2022 release and say it's coming out by March, whether it's to communicate another delay, whether it's to give us another breakdown with some more game details, I have no idea. But I've got a good feeling that we won't have to wait too long for another update, and you can rest easy knowing that the moment any info drops, I'll have you covered right here on the channel. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video and be sure to subscribe with notifications on so you can be updated every time I upload. Let me know your thoughts about any and everything with The Division Heartland. What do you think about the information we learned about the game in 2022? Do you wish we had more? And what do you think the roadmap is looking like with the game now that we're heading into 2023? I hope you enjoyed this recap. I thought it was a good way to end off the year, both to clarify things with Heartland and just because of my own personal excitement for the title. You all know I'm hyped. I've been hyped, so I say bring on 2023 and let's see what Red Storm has in store. Again, link to that big breakdown video I did will be in the description below if you're craving some more Heartland details, and leave a comment below if you're hyped for Heartland in 2023. That's enough nerding out for me though, everyone. Once again, thank you all so much for watching and for such a joyful 2022 here on the channel. I hope you have a wonderful day, and until the next one, guys, RogueGold out.